Hey everyone, and welcome back to Transport Fever. It's the Great Western Railroad. Watching our train pull into the town called Staten. It's an end of the line. We made this station a couple episodes ago, and I wanted to come back here to revisit for some detailing reasons. It looks a little bit plain and stark out here, and when we made it, I kept on saying the word trestle, and I thought, you know what? Let's get trestles in the game. Now, I don't think there was that many wooden trestles on the Great Western Railway, but I can foresee it used, for very small things, and that's actually what I want to try to do here. So I thought up here, this valley looks like it could easily be a river runoff and have a water effect to it, and particularly with the pond down here. So I was going to make a little river through here, and we'll put a little trestle in here. And we actually built this up when we put this in. The land was like down there, so it will make sense to revert that. I'm gonna let this train go by, and let's get the terraforming going. Hopefully you'll gain some tips and tricks out of this. Not that I'm the best at this, but I at least have been giving it a go a fair bit. So I'm gonna use the same height tool, and I'm gonna pull out the water. I think this little area here, that's way too big. And so I just want it just like a river size, something like that. Now, in no way am I going to keep it that big. It's just give me a starting point. Let's push some of the land out, make it look like it's turning the corner a bit. Just soften that. And yeah, and then on the other side of this, I'm actually going to dig this down a long way. Let's go roughly just above the water height, and we'll dig it down this side as well. And then I'm going to choose random spots. Like I'm clicking like on the wall, and I'm going to pull in a little terrace all the way up here and make this a little bit deeper going up the valley. And so you can kind of envision waterfalls as well. Just like lots of little terrace here. So yeah, that's probably not what I want there. I can probably smooth that out. And then, right. So while that train's away there, I think I can destroy this for a sec. Do that. And let's keep on leveling this out. And we'll make it semi-wide and fun. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of those for a sec. We'll put more deliberate effort into the way that looks. And I'm going to see if I can get some water. Yeah, because there's water there. And so, yeah, that'll work. And then I don't want it to be that stark. So let's see if I can smooth it out. I just want it to be a little bit deeper there. Yeah, and then we won't see any of that. It's all going to be trees. All right. Tracks. Let's put this back, and in theory there it is. It looks like in the bridges we now have this was a trestle that was available in Transport Fever 1, I believe, and someone has grabbed it and remodeled it and put it in the game. So before I added this mod, we just had the dirt and the stone bridge. Now the stone bridge I think is what probably would have happened in this era in England, but it still looks a little bit too formal for this backwater area for my liking, and I think the wooden trestles looks pretty good. I think it's a little bit longer than I want, so I'm actually going to bring this out with 0 degrees, 0 degrees, 0 degrees. Yeah, I wonder if I can... Is that actually on a slope? I'm trying to work out whether it's level or not. I think it is level. So let's see if we can get this straight. It's a little bit finicky sometimes. But that, thank you, autosave. I've got autosave set for 30 minutes and it still kicks in. I suppose we're going to average one per episode, I guess. We'll go a little bit wider there. Same with this. We'll go a little bit wider. 0 degrees, 0 degrees. Alright, now we'll put that trestle in. Yeah, that's a bit better, because I didn't want it to be too big. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. And yeah, let's get some water effect under here, so like it's eroding away. So I'm going to use the downward tool. And if we go low enough, we do get water. It looks like I've underpinned some of that. I'm using a brush that's way too big. So that's let's bring this back in a bit so we don't have too much. You just got to play with it a bit. Yeah, I don't want to have it. I want it to be a stream, not a river. So let's bring all this back in. And yeah. Now, as I said, I'm going to put a huge number of trees around here so it won't matter too much. Soften those banks. And yeah, and then I'm going to put that bridge in again, just so I get slightly longer pillars. And there we have it. Yeah, that looks all right. I don't know if I want to have that much water on this side. I think I just want just the inkling. There, yeah, like that. Just the inkling that water is capable of flowing. I'm just trying to get that water effect working. Some shallower areas. And before we know it, we've got the making of a half-decent river. And then definitely at the back here, that got too deep there. So let's bring that up. Make it a bit shallower. And I think that's about it. I think that would do. I'm going to smooth that a bit. Smooth. Just hit the top of those. All right, and let's start with the way that you make it fill in. Ferns. Ferns are wherever it's wet. So it's a pretty easy one to start with. Just put ferns all the way at the bottom. Do I actually want it that strong? Probably not. I'm going to use half and then use the erase tool to get rid of a lot of them. Yeah, definitely going to keep it up there in the top. And then we'll scatter these around, particularly underneath the bridge. All right, then we use the forest one to flesh it out. Now we're going to lose the majority of these because when a tree goes down, it gets rid of the ground texture. So that's going to be all over the walls. All over the walls, under the trees. This is like your grasses and stuff that are, yeah, just weeds and stuff. And actually, we've got to remember to do this side as well. You can do this quite rapidly because the trees are going to hide a lot of the ills. And I probably want to get rid of it out of the water, actually. Yeah, so let's clear it out there. And it looks a bit messy so far. But before you know it, when we start doing trees, we'll go for probably the smaller ones first. And then we need like a semi-decent ratio, a bit stronger than that. And then we'll put small bushes everywhere. You can see we're losing that undergrowth as we do that. Trying to, yeah, they're definitely trying to enjoy the water that's available. And I think this will work quite well. So when we get up the hill, we're definitely going to be using a lot more bigger trees. They've got a lot more sunlight because of the face of the mountain. Still need more, still need more. Luckily, I've got a graphics card that doesn't care about tree count. But yeah, if you are struggling for frame rate, you may want to hold off on the underbush a bit. All right, let's go. So look for the orchard tree, and then it's the one after that for most things. I'm gonna go a little bit bigger brush size, and then let's sprinkle them around the valley, and we'll do some tendrils. As you're getting taller and taller, the trees are actually going to get bigger and bigger and turn more into cedars. So it sounds like the train's coming back. There it is. So how's that look so far? Let's get rid of first impressions. Better than it was. Let's do a full screen. There we go. Yeah, that looks plausible. Yeah. Not too bad. Not a bad start. Right, let's keep on going. What we're up to. So trees, we're doing around here. Definitely need to get some up in the middle there. See, we've lost all of that detail. We'll have to undo some of that. And along the track. Yeah, the area influence on these is huge. And so you lose a lot of the detail. And I'll leave that bank there. I was going to say beach, but it's not really a beach, is it? I suppose it is. So, yeah, this is getting too close to the water. Don't want to lose some of that white. And then let's go to the next size one. So we're doing the one next to the orchard. Now we're going to do slightly bigger. Strength is going to be lower, a bit taller. Sprinkle them in. Now this doesn't remove the other tree that was already there, so it's just filling in spaces. So as we go up the hill, we'll need a bit more. So kind of like wide. And then, yes, so definitely wider as you get, well, the way I approach it is wider as you get taller. And then the big trees. I think maybe some of it's to do with perspective. I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't want that on that hill. And then I think we do want some cedars, these big tall ones, up on the tree line. Especially up here. So these guys don't need like to be rooted in a stream. They're a little bit happier. I think we might get a bit more saturation there. We'll do it up there. And then it's amazing. Every 20 episodes I go around and delete individual trees. Actually, there's best pause there. Let's have a look. Have a look at it full screen. I mean, we've missed it just as it goes over the bridge, but yeah. We do it from inside the valley. Looks quite different to where we started, huh? Yeah, I think this water's worked quite well. I think yeah. Yeah, I missed the chance to get a thumbnail. I'll get another one. There's plenty of chances. There's a couple of areas where it looks like it's undercut, but you know what? That's part of the story. Maybe the water started to wash away the foundations. And yeah, I think as much as this is a little bit stark, I think I'm okay with that. I was thinking about putting a tree right there, but I don't know if it would be a good idea. Like, I'll just put one there and see, we're going to lose all that underbrush because of the shadow of the tree. And I think it actually was worth keeping that there. I think we can probably put one down there though. And this is where you start doing more strategic placing of trees. As you're trying to hide things. Like, I don't like the way that this is a bit stuck in here. But yeah, this got a little bit too dense in there. I think I might get rid of some of this. Yeah, so like it's eroded away. It's like at some parts of the year, there is like raging water going through there and it causes erosion. Yeah, like that. Get rid of some of that. This is where the small ones are really good. The small ones are suited in this area. And so you kind of lose the effect still. Yeah, I think that, don't play with it too much. I think that's enough from a initial go point of view. It doesn't take too long. It's 15 minutes. And whenever you get a bit of a chance, do that. I think some of these trees down here are taking away from the effect. I think we're better off having these bushes around here. And you tend to get these natural curves. You can see these little open glades. You want to keep those for sure. You want to have these little spots. And then definitely, this more like parkland type stuff. But yeah, that looks good. I like it. Should we let this guy go? Yeah. not too shabby. I like it. Now, as I said, I don't know whether timber trestles were used. I couldn't find any photos. I did, albeit it wasn't a very quick search, but I didn't find any photos where people were pointing out that wooden trestles were being used on any real British railway stuff. It seemed to me that everything I was finding was stone, but yeah, I think it looks good regardless. Pretty good. Now, obviously over here it needs a bit more love, a bit more, probably something, I don't know, maybe even encourage the road. Actually, you know what? I was going to say something industrial, but I think what we need to do is just encourage people to use this. So if I go to there, yeah, that can go there, and that building, sorry, can go away. And we can encourage people to come down here. They'll have to walk around, which is fine. There's no ticket booth here, but that's fine. Yeah, I think we could encourage people to come down here. Probably want to go this way before we go the other way. It is kind of hard to make things look natural without getting like a super high embankment. But I think that's doable. Yeah, we'll see if that encourages people to go that way. Yeah, it is a long way from the... Yeah, I think I mean, you can see the tendril there. So it does have an effect. There you go. People are using it already. That person's willing to... One person moved in. There you go. Built in 1907. So pretty cool. Between the episodes, I did some upgrades. You'll note that, if I can find it, all of our passenger buses, I may call them, around town, and now these guys, it was running a much more diesel steam era one before this. So just around every single town, wherever there was a bus, we're now running these ones. This is the latest and the greatest that we've got. A little bit more capacity, a little bit more speed, and just making things a little bit more efficient. So yeah, I've got to work out what's happening over here. I mean, there's a road out of town, so that makes sense. Yeah, it's an interesting little bridge there. I don't know if that's worth being a trestle. Nah, see, this is where it just completely doesn't make sense, right? You would definitely not do that. We could flatten it out, but nah. I think the stone bridge somehow makes sense there. Not quite sure how. That looks good. Look at that. The river through there. It maybe is a little bit wide. Yeah, it probably could be narrowed down a little bit, but you can play with that. I think there was another opportunity to do another one here, but I don't think this one is conducive as much. It doesn't really have the topology above it to really suggest that there was a river raging through there and that it was justifiable for that down there. So I think we can leave that one the way it is, and that they did just move stone out. But yeah. One of the things I did want to fix is I noticed this is once we go around this corner, wow, does it dip down fast. And we actually went down to come up here. So I'm actually tempted to bulldoze this for a sec. And I'm actually going to raise this up. So I think we'll start it from here. And I think the dip is, over to here somewhere. So we'll go all the way to here. And since I know that trains always come out, so roads are always flat, let's do that flat. Too much curvature. All right, let's do that. And just keep on deleting this. All right, let's see if we can get this through here with a bit of a curve. Let's just try to do it straight and see what happens. Okay, it comes too wide. So I think about there. And that curve at the end is going to be egregious. Let's do the right-hand side so it's next to that road. Not that the road can't get moved. But yeah, let's move it up to... that's more like it, like close to road height. Yeah, actually, that's a little bit better, I think. Come on. And yeah, so we've grown, what's that, 20 feet? So I think it's a lot better. A lot better. Yeah, I allowed it to be low just so this road could get across. And I think that was a mistake. Since we do have a crossing there, do I actually want to just sacrifice that road? I don't think it looks good. I mean, just going up and over just, yeah. I'll keep it, but don't be surprised if it disappears between episodes. So we'll go across here, if it lets me. I think a downhill's okay. Curve around there. And then I think I might bring this back a little bit. Yeah, I think we can do better than that. Come on, you can do it. Actually, around and come on, you can do it. Come on. So these lines, these ones, the one you follow is the connection you get. So you can see how. There we go. And then we'll pull this one back a bit. This will be a bit of a wonk, but that's fine. And I think that is a little bit better. Smooth that out a bit. And then undo all our damage that we did there. Actually, I think what we can do is actually get rid of all these and allow that field to be a little bit wider. Yeah, I think that works. Because I was never really happy about how thin it was there anyway. And so I think that makes sense. So that is a grain, which is this one. Nope. Nope, it's a grass. So that one? Yeah. Let's pump that strength up a little bit. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of a train landscape terraforming episode. I do a lot of that type of thing off camera between episodes. And I thought, you know what, I should probably show my working every once in a while. It's fun to see that part of the game. I know, personally, I don't think there's enough content out there of people doing the detailing side of it. You tend to get these single videos that are just, hey, here's my thing I worked on for 200 hours. And they also tend to be very focused on the rail side of it rather than the landscape. Ooh, that goes up and down. That needs to get fixed. I don't know if it's interesting to watch, but personally I would like to see how other people approach landscaping a lot more rather than the train side. I mean, I understand trains is a large part of the hobby. This can be risky considered to be your own little miniature railway, really. Yeah, that's okay. All right, so you know what's missing here is any form of safety. So assets, fences. Do I want to go a brick wall? Is this a brick wall type place? Could be. Is it? You know what? I think it could be. I need to hold down C to stop it snapping. Back to curve mode. The curve mode's a little bit finicky. Does that look good? I think that's... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's doing it for me. It's nice and solid. I like that idea. I think I might get rid of this wonk here. What happened is it fell down. So let me get rid of that much and let's try that again. So while we're doing this one, line, we'll end up with two pillars right there, but that's fine. stay up high. Don't adjust for terrain. That might help. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this again. And we'll do straight segments for a sec where the terrain doesn't go up and down. So we will get a gap. But we won't see that, I don't think. So then we'll turn that on again. Start the curve, turn into curve mode. And then I think... Yeah, how do we want to do the other side? I think we can go along the track. How's that look from the rails? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on it. It's definitely one of the perfect examples where I would do it between episodes to see what it's like. You know, I'll download a mod like this one, this stone mod, and I'd give it a go like this, and you know, with the intention of not saving the save game. And yeah, I would just make the decision. But yeah, it's a different style for sure. Yeah, I don't know whether that should have gone over there or whether this should have actually followed the track. The curve tool, see how it causes left to go right sometimes? So yeah, that can be a little bit annoying to deal with. And yeah, I don't know. I think a rock wall may look better. Maybe even just a fence. But yeah, that's my thinking. What I do is I get mods and try a different style. Because, I mean, there's a limit of how much repetitiveness you want. You got to ask yourself, why is there so much stone around here? And well, there is a big cliff face, so that can kind of justify it. Let's see if we can get this area a bit better. We'll use the delete tool, it's easier. And we'll see, I think this guy just can look better. I don't know, I think against the grass it doesn't do a great job. Let's try getting that curve wall happening, and let's see if it works. And let's see if I can curve it in. See if I can get it. Sometimes if you go over the top vertical, it's a good way of working out what you're doing. Yeah, the problem with the fences is this. It will delete itself. If you do a finished one, a line one, basically it detects the clip and then deletes it. I don't know. I think, you know what maybe the problem is? It's because it's just so stark. If we do this, thin it out a bit, use a different tree. Come on, in you go. Bit more strength, bit more strength. And yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's my best work, but it's just an example of how you can approach it. Having it come over the stone wall is interesting. I like how this one's sticking out. Yeah, actually you can see how it's actually destroyed some of the wall, which is interesting. But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have it so close to the track. That's something that's wrong. And one thing we do need to do is we lost our signals. So let's use simple signals on that side of the tunnel and that side. And that's fine. So there you go. Some detailing. I think that looks okay the way it was. And I think that little stone wall and that little entrance, it's pretty simple. Tunnel's not too long. I think this stone kind of matches the entrance. We don't have any other train entrances, so if there is a very stone-esque one that comes, I think, later. So we may change it to that to match the stone wall, to say, hey, why do I have so much stone around here? Because of that little gap there is what I'm going to do is you can hide it by just putting in some bushes. And make that weak. A couple of bushes to justify it, especially around the entrance there. Come on, come on. Click, 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 click. And I think we'll leave this episode here as I keep on putting more and more underbrush in and stuff like that. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that cool YouTube stuff. And we'll see you next time as we continue generating the Great Western Railway. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.